Hello and welcome to the third and final part, of my video about Ardennes 2024 playthrough, and we are playing Peyperow scenario in which Russians are trying to capture Liège, and we already played turns 1 to 6, so we have last 3 turns of the game, and in the previous turns both sides suffered some losses. Allies lost 2 mechanized battalion, 1 special forces group, and most problematic was the loss of the HQ. Russians lost 1 elite armored brigade and 1 special forces group. So both sides have some considerable loss, while I think Allies suffered more, especially because loss of this HQ. Because it gave them a lot of support during combat. So we are starting with reinforcements for the turn 7. Allies get 1 electronic warfare point. So let's move to their boxes. So I'm giving them one electronic warfare point. They have 3 special forces groups. They lost 1, so they have 2, and this one is moved to the ready, and this one is flipped, and they gain +3 combat helicopters and +3 air forces. So again, their air forces is maxed, and 1, 2, 3, their combat helicopter is level is very high as well. Can't say the same about Russians, because their combat helicopters suffered serious losses in the previous turn. So and their reinforcements are quite weak. They gain 1 electronic warfare point, and they have 1 special forces group, which is moved here, and they gain +1 combat helicopters and +1 air forces. So +1. +1. Not very good, especially when it comes to the combat helicopters. They lost a lot of them in the previous turn, so they want to make a good use of them in the last part of the game. Okay, starting with air phase. The Russians are spending all of their points, so they have 10, and they are spending 10 of them. Allies are spending 11. So Allies have +1 for their roll. And gonna make a roll for Russians 6, and for Allies 2. So Russians have air advantage. Good for them. And now we have artillery fire phase, and what I'm going to do with my lone artillery unit, it helped me a bit in this game, so I think it is quite good to have this artillery. I think I will fire on this enemy artillery. This can be quite good if I would manage to eliminate or weaken it. So I'm using my special forces group to help this combat. And I have 5 strength. I have +2 thanks to the special forces. And defender has -3 because of the hills and forest. So I have 5 +1 +2 and -3, 1, 2, 3. So I have 3, 4. Not a higher chance to score a hit. 6, and yes, that was fail. Have to check for special forces survival. They are eliminated. Okay, and now because this artillery was on fire, I can't attack it with land units. No good. Okay, now Russian movement phase, and now Russians might try to eliminate this battalion, but it won't give them much, because their target is Liège, and they moved back from Liège. I think they should rather focus their combat fight their units on Liège, because they have only 3 turns till the end of the game. So I think I will do this. I try. 1, 2, 3. Sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Or maybe not. Maybe I will stay here because hills will give me some protection from enemy attacks. And this group, 1, 2, here, and I will fortify this brigade here, so it will keep this Belgian battalion somehow engaged. So I'm not going to attack in this turn, I'm preparing for combat in the next turn, so that's all for Russians. And now when it comes to allies, I might of course use my artillery, and I will do it because it is quite obvious, and I will fire on this Russian stack. I have 4 strength points of my artillery, and I'm using 6 points of my combat helicopters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Gonna make a roll. 5, they survived. So I have 4 plus 6. It is 10. So I have 9, 10 verse, and I have to subtract 1 because they are in the town. So I have 7, 8. Oh, sorry. Wow. -1 and D. So they suffer 1 step loss. Both of them already suffered 1 step loss, so this brigade is eliminated. And because of the D, they are disorganized. That was a very good attack for Belgians. Okay, and next we have our Belgian movement phase. I don't think they will move anywhere. They are fine where they are. Okay, that's all. So this is going to be the end of this turn, I think. Yes, that's all when it comes to the turn 7. Alright, turn 8 is coming. First allies, they have 1 electronic warfare point, so I'm gonna give them 1. Oh, they have already, and they gain 1. They have already now 4 special forces groups, and they have 2. They lost 1, so they gain another 1. And they gain +3 air forces and +3 combat helicopters. They already have maximum of air forces, so they can't gain more, but they can gain 1, 2, 3 plus combat helicopters. That's pretty good. And as for Russians, now Russians have 1 electronic warfare point. They have 1 special forces. They don't have because they lost all of them. 1 air forces point and 1 combat helicopter point. So that's all when it comes to reinforcements. And now we are starting with air phase, and Russians are spending all of their 11 air points, while NATO spends 12. So NATO has allies have +1. So for Russians I have 3 and allies have 2. So allies lost, Russians have air advantage. Good for them. And next we have artillery fire phase. And what about Russians now? I think they are in pretty bad situation currently, because their units are all very weak now, and there is very little chance for them to capture Liège now because of the losses they suffered in the previous turns. And even so, one of their armored brigades is disorganized, so it will be hard to perform any effective attacks towards Liège. So what I can do? A little. I think I'll do what I can. So I'm not going to use this artillery for nothing, or maybe I will try to fire on this artillery. There is a very little chance that I will hit, because I have 5 points, and they are in the woods and in the mountains. So I will have 1-2 row. So might roll 7, of course, nothing. So we have Russian movement phase now, and I'm going to perform, well, kinda suicidal strike for 1, 2, 3, 3 and 3. They are moving here, while they are going to be reorganized, while they are keeping this battalion busy. So that's all when it comes to the Russian movement phase, and I'm going to launch a strike on this unit. It will be, well, like I said, kinda suicidal. So let's make it. I'm going to spend 3 of my helicopter points, and I'm gonna make a roll. I rolled 4. Oh my god, does it mean that I lost all of them? Yes, I lost all of them. That was bad. And Allies are going to spend 6 of their air forces helicopter points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And make a roll for them as well. 1. They lost 1 of them, so they have 5. And halved and rounded up, this is 3. So they have 3 air points, and that's all. So let's count strength, or maybe I should check if Allied artillery has range. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So no, they are not in range, so I'm gonna make a check. So 6, 9, 14, 14 plus 5, it is 19, against 2 plus 3, so it is 5. 19 against 5, it's 4-1. It is 4-1, and next we have to check for column shifts. Russians have 1 star, so they have +1 column shift. Allies have 1 star as well, so 1 column shift for them. And now they are fortified. They are fortified in the city, so +1, and they are in the city, 1, 2. So it's 2-1, 1-2. I feel this might be a disaster. Of course. 9, -1, and A1. So attacker retreats 1 hex and suffers 1 loss, and so the unit with a star has suffered first step loss, so this armored brigade is eliminated, just like I predicted. Okay, and that's all when it comes to the Russian combat phase, and now Allies are in the move. So we are starting with their combat air phase, and they are going to perform a joint attack of artillery and combat helicopters on this group. I think they are in the range. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes, they are in the range. And I'm going to use 6 points of my combat helicopters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And make a roll. 3. Oh my, I lost 3 of them. 1, 2, 3. So I will have 3 combat helicopter points here to use, along with 7 points of my artillery. So I have 7 points, and they are in the clear terrain, so no combat, no modifiers. And also I will use 1 of my special forces group for this attack. So I had 7 and +2, it is 11 plus. Now I rolled 10, so it is -1 and dot. So Russians suffer 1 step loss, and they have to make a roll for disorganization, 7, they did it, and now for this Special Forces group, 1, it is eliminated. Okay, and now we have Allied movement phase. I don't know if Allies have to move anywhere. They are fine when they are where they are. So that would be all, and this concludes turn 8. And we have turn 9. Do we even have to play turn 9? I don't think so, because even if this unit would be reorganized, Russians are definitely not strong enough to achieve a victory here, because they lost so many of their units, especially their best guards tank brigade that were kind of like spearhead of their forces, and so even if Belgians suffered some losses as well, I think that Russians are definitely not gonna make it. They lost so many of their good units and achieved little. I think that my biggest mistake was not trying to destroy more of the Belgians, but instead I tried to attack on the leash as quick as possible. Maybe I should focus more on destroying a single unit, so I would be able to capture the city, the city, but I failed, as Russian player of course. So now let's take a look on the losses of both sides. Here they are. The Belgians lost their HQ thanks to the successful Special Forces action of a Russian player, 2 mechanized battalions and 2 Special Forces groups. And Russians lost 1 mechanized brigade, 2 armored brigades and 2 Special Forces group. As I said, the biggest pain was the loss of these 2 brigades, because they are guards. They have star, so they are probably essential to win this scenario. So that would be all when it comes to this gameplay. I hope it was interesting and helpful. If you will have any other questions about this system, I am all yours. You feel free to ask. The publisher announced a new game of this system, and I hope it will be released this year, so maybe I will be able to record some more of this system, because I like it. And that's for now. See you again next time.